Good night, good night, good night. Welcome again to another episode of Fortress Fitness Podcast. And tonight, I have another amazing guest. And this guest is a very good friend of mine, actually a whole family. And she into fitness, she into wellness, and she have amazing story to tell. And I know, there's probably thousands of female in Trinidad and Tobago and worldwide who have the condition that she have been dealing with for so long. So let's bring on Miss Crystal Ferreira on Fortress Fitness Lifestyle Podcast. So Crystal, come on down. Yes? Good night,
Hi,
good night.
good night. How are
All
you?
right. I'm fine, thank you, Crystal. And how are you today? You good?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So Crystal, before we get going, I know we just chat very often. So we just sharing your story on social media for people who going through what you're going through, what you have been dealing with, and so brave and steadfast in going through what you're going through and bringing your story to Fortress Fitness Lifestyle Podcast, where your story can inspire and help others. I just want to say that I really appreciate that and thank you for making the time to come on board. And so, Crystal, if you want to introduce yourself properly, or we could just start, you just let me know. Yeah?
Um, my name is Crystal Ferreira. I don't know what else I could say about myself, but I'm a social services professional. That saying that what did they say? Of course, jack of all trades, master of
Yeah.
none type of thing. I am a social services professional. I am a certified fitness instructor. I am also a certified masseuse recently. Also did certified patient care assistant. Okay, so I've done a lot of things. I enjoy learning. Learning is a big thing for me. Yeah, I just like to learn new things, to be a part of it, not necessarily to master everything, but just to be able to do what I've learned.
Yes. And I know you're into physical activities a very long time, and I know you're good at what you do, right? Also, we are here to talk about PCOS and, living with it. So, first of all, Crystal, I want to ask you, how long ago did you find out that you have that PCOS?
Wow, it's been a long time.
Right.
I actually found out about it when I was a teenager. Uh, I mean, it started off, I had very irregular periods coming up, and it started with painful periods as well as long periods. So I may have a period lasting maybe 6 weeks sometimes, and then I will not see my period for like 3 months. So with that happening over and over, eventually one of my mom's friends referred us to a doctor, and the doctor would have diagnosed me with the PCOS.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you was getting these symptoms before of
Yeah.
irregular cycle, and then doctor would have told you, hey, there's something called PCOS, yes?
Mhm.
And that's since it was about what age again?
I would say about maybe 15, 16 thereabout.
15, 16.
It started to get worse because the pain started to get worse, and just the irregularity was worse at that point. So I decided to seek some medical attention.
Yeah, yeah. So Chrissy, what is the how has been that journey for you from that diagnosis back then when you was 15 to this day? How was that journey for you?
Um, wow, it's been a long road. At first, it was not much of an issue because you're a teenager. They tell me I have PCOS, okay. It didn't really
Yeah,
mean anything to me at that point in time.
exactly. Yeah,
After my doctor's appointment, they subsequently put me on birth control. And I was using that for many years. The birth control helped to regulate the period. It helps with mood and everything. And I didn't have a problem. But I wasn't doing any research at that point in time. You say you're young, you're footloose and fancy free. So I was just enjoying life at that point. It started to show its face when I got married. And, it's the issue of wanting to have children came into play. And I took a period of coming off of the pill. And when I came off of the pill is when I started to have some challenges. Um, so I started to see issues with my emotions. I started to have issues with, um, well, of course, I was not, my cycle was irregular. I was not having a regular period. I was not, I was all over the place. I started to gain a lot of weight very quickly. So that is what I was dealing with at that point. And then, of course, in trying to have a child, of course, around that period, I would have had a miscarriage and I had to go back on. So it has been a long, long road in trying to understand the condition, and trying to understand my body as well in having the condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, how did all of that, based on what you mentioned, there, affect you emotionally? Knowing that you really want to have a child at that point in time, and then you realize that this PCOS thing, this is a serious thing because you want to have a family, and it really creating a challenge in you becoming the mother that you want to be. How did that affected you emotionally?
Wow. I So I come from a really large family. I always tell everybody, I always boast and tell everybody, I have 13 nieces and nephews, and I only have 4 siblings, so you all can do the math.
Yeah.
Having children is a big thing in my family.
Yeah.
And I am the only one in my siblings who, I don't have children yet. So at the point in time in trying to have a child, I think for me, it was very heartbreaking in terms of, just losing a baby. And um, it happened at a time where it was like the Friday before Mother's Day when it happened to me. So I think that made it even worse for me at the time. Um, so I had to go through a lot of, pulling myself back together at that point in time, trying to build from that moment, feeling whole again. I went through a lot emotionally, mentally.
Yeah. So if you had a point on one thing that is one of the biggest challenge dealing with this, it will be the inability, the not being able to get pregnant presently. I think that's for you mentally, it's one of the biggest challenge.
Yeah, it could be a bit draining at times. And I think um, just in the society that we live in, a lot of people, and they don't realize that they're being insensitive, but they'll ask you things like, well, how old are you? You don't want one yet? Or how come you family for
Yeah,
pregnant?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we ain't make one yet? And, so you'll hear a lot of those things. And it's not for lack of trying, it's not for lack of wanting, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't happen for you. But, when they say those things to you, in the back of your mind, you're like, "Ah, if they only knew how much I want,
Mm.
how much I've tried, but it's not happening."
Yeah, and see what I will say too, not only with this PCOS, what I've recognized in my journey with this Fortress Fitness lifestyle platform that I have, I realize a lot of people are suffering or not getting the help that they need based on lack of information, lack of knowledge. So, as rightly as you said just now, people will come and say, "Yo, we're waiting on the clock this and the clock that and all of that," not knowing. And you might tell somebody, "Well, I have a condition," and if you do mention, always personal and private, but if you do mention PCOS, I mean, some people might even know what that means, right? You may have to break it down as a hormone imbalance and this and that, but sometimes people just need to ask the question, you know,
Right.
instead of making these kind of statements that could even affect you mentally based on who it is, right? Or emotionally based on what you, as you rightly said. It happens days that, you probably must feel a little how when you 1 year ago, 2 year ago, and you wanted, create a family, and you come from a family that is huge,
That
you
is
know
true.
so
But
so obviously that, right? But another thing, so I mean, all right, from since 15, and we should have challenge now from since then, what changes that you have made in your lifestyle to help to give yourself a chance, make it possible at least to put yourself in a good position to make it happen, because you might have done research based, all right, maybe I need to keep exercising, manage my weight, eat a certain way. What changes that you have made, because I know you're into fitness, that will put you in a place, give you a fighting chance.
okay. So one major thing that has always, well, since I've discovered that I had PCOS, one major thing that even the doctor brought up to me from the beginning. He said, part of your prescription is exercise.
Hmm.
Exercise is a major part of it. It's the one of the ways that you can manage weight gain, of course. So it's always been a part of my life. Well, from teenage years, of course. So I've been in the gym since I was a teenager, and it's just something that I've grown to love over time. Also, I have, well, so they put me on the pill when I was younger. As an older adult, as somebody over 35 now, I have chosen to come off of birth control. And that, of course, had its downs, I should say. Um, I came off the pill and there was immediate weight gain and just trying to figure out what to
Hmm.
do concerning my body. And I could only speak for my body because PCOS affects people in different ways. For me, the weight goes up and down, and I had to figure out. I still am figuring it out. Diet, exercise, just a balance of the two, and those are two main things. Um, so I just have to take care of myself. Wellness is important. So watch what I put into my body. And I know
Hmm.
sometimes we may say, it's so expensive to eat healthy, but sometimes it's just as simple as having a market diet, as we like to call it, and it makes a difference. And I've seen some benefits in me changing up my diet. Now, my diet hasn't ever really been in a bad diet per se, but I had to make some changes. I had to do a lot of research. I take a lot of supplements now. So you wouldn't believe how many supplements I take. So that one birth control pill that used to balance out everything, in me coming off, now I have to take different supplements to try to do what it was doing for me with the insulin resistance as well as with the weight gain,
Hmm.
even in balancing of my moods. So I have to take different things.
Well, as you said, so that pill, that birth control pill that they gave you from 16, 15, usually when women using birth control, it's not that young, and it's for a different reason. And it's to know that you had to take that pill from so young for so many years to balance your hormones. And now, where in the 30s and things like that, and you came off of it in order to fight the battle naturally. And it has so much side effect, weight gain, and other stuff. Now you had to actually take a lot of supplements to combat what one pill was doing, keeping these things in order. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a, you know, a uphill climb now.
Yeah, it is, but it was a personal decision. I made that decision because of, and I put it out there, this is my body I'm talking about. I started to have a lot of headaches with the birth control. I didn't know what was causing the headaches at first, but then for me, I am lactose intolerant and it had lactose in it. So I don't know if that contributed, but I get really bad migraines.
Hmm.
So my body wasn't reacting well to it, and I noticed the difference from when I was on it to when I came off. So
Hmm.
it made a big difference for me. So I sacrificed taking all those supplements just to avoid having to take the pill, where it makes me feel a little bit different. I don't feel a lot like myself when I take it, right?
Okay,
I
okay,
feel a lot better now that I'm off it.
okay. So all over Trinidad and Tobago, there's communities. Let's say there's people with that have a community of people who have condition. Do you know if it have a community that support this hormonal balance PCOS in Trinidad and Tobago, like a hotline you could call, like a support, that kind of thing? Does it have?
I am, I don't know, I don't want to say yes for sure. I know that there are individuals who focus on it. I know some fitness professionals who they do focus on that in terms of the programs that they offer. Some persons, they may push a tea, they may try cleanse. Somebody might else might say a cleanse.
Yeah.
So different people do different things, but I've never really heard of a hotline or anything that you can call. I've
Yeah.
never encountered it. If I could find it, I would have been very happy because something that I noticed for me is that awareness wasn't a thing with PCOS. And this is just from my observation. And a lot of people who have it don't know they have it, or they don't have
Correct.
information about it. And I don't know why women don't speak about it more often with each other. Um, it's something that I've just observed. But if there is one, I wish they would advertise a lot more for people to find out. But I guess too, if you go to your doctor as well and you ask about it, they would give you information. And there's always Google. But as I said, if it's out there, bring it forward and let's see it.
Well, I will look for it because I had two persons came on this podcast last year, women, and I wasn't aware there was so much people, so much women suffering with this thing. And
Right.
the two female, they actually managed to have a child. I don't know if I mentioned
Okay.
to you, I
Uh-huh.
mentioned that to you off air, and I probably give her one of them number if you're interested.
Yeah.
And they went by the doctors, and they didn't work, and they went all natural, and
Right.
they managed to make a baby, and
Right.
they actually spoke about the emotional aspect of it before, and how how challenging it is be, especially your partner might want, you might want, and that could play a negative role in any relationship. And whilst I mentioned that, what I want to ask now, Chrissy, is that how does family support and partner support, what it means to you going through this at this point in time. Like a family supports you as you keep fighting this fight. They understand that it's emotional stuff sometimes. Your partner, and it's a question that I think everybody will want to ask. Because we know how some partners could be, or how some family could be, as you rightly say, some friends saying, "Look how long you ain't a child yet." I did it. You know what I mean? I know your family personally, so I can say that here, and I believe that you have the support 100%. But I just asking you, how it is, how that is.
I would say that I've been blessed with family and friends who are very supportive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have never really been in the group of people who would make comments to you,
Mm-hmm.
insensitive comments that they don't even know they're being insensitive about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they are very, especially my group, my friend group. I really have been blessed with a good group of friends. They we just allow each other to be who you are. So even in the moments when I might be gaining or losing weight, it has never really been a topic with them. Um, so they have been fine. My mother, I will always say my mother is my biggest form of support, and she's the person that I would run to when I need to talk about these issues. My sister as well, I would bring it up with her, and she will give me the support because she's big sister, so she will answer when
Yeah.
I ask certain questions as well. So I have the family support. Um, it's not a topic that comes up with other people so much. As I said, it's just the sometimes insensitive comments that come out of persons just speaking about, oh, you don't have a child yet, or oh, you wouldn't believe the comment that I like to say that it will shake my mango tree. When and I feel like this is a Trinidadian thing. As soon as people see it, hey, girl, you put on weight or you put on fat,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and
It is,
people
it is, it
don't
is, it
know,
is.
people don't know
Yeah.
the struggle that you are facing with your weight, or just what the general things that you're dealing with, and they just make these little comments and they laugh it off, but they don't understand the psychological effect it has on you because this is something that you're battling every day.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know? So yeah,
yeah. So yeah, so if someone, what advice, Chrissy, you will give to a 17-year-old, a 18-year-old who now got diagnosed, or any female in the 20s around that age who now get diagnosed with PCOS? What advice you will give them now that you know the journey? What advice you think that, or one thing you will tell them to look out for, or what changes you will advise them to change at that
um,
age with your knowledge that you have now at your age?
I would tell them exercise. Exercise is so important. Outside of PCOS, exercise is so important for health and wellness, even mental health. It's important to have this
Yeah.
exercise regime, right? Um, Look at the things that you're eating, do your research about different foods, understand the things that you're putting into your body, understand the medications that you put into your body, and you make decisions that are best for you based on what your needs are, right? Um, and don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your body. And just have confidence within yourself as well. Because PCOS, I know it's something that kind of people brush it off, but it's something that affects your emotions. It affects your esteem, your
Hmm.
self esteem because of some of the effects of it. I hear people make jokes about people who might have a woman who might have a beard, and the thing is,
Hmm.
those are some of the signs of, well, some of the symptoms of having PCOS. So you might be thinking, ha ha ha, she have a beard. She is struggling with that beard every day. And it's PCOS sometimes is what people are struggling with. So I'm just thinking, um, it affects so many things. I just feel like people need to not give up on themselves. Don't give up on your body. Do as much research as you can and just find ways to feel good about yourself.
You know, you said something there, Chrissy, of people, and I have seen women in the past with little beard and mustache and thing, and not knowing, and I would admit not knowing about what we're talking about here, because as I said, I found out about that last year when people came on this program, just like yourself. But I also knew about women who just couldn't make children, and I was like, okay. I just said, well, maybe they just, I didn't know it had a handle to it, like a title, like a name, or is a really hormone imbalance thing. Is as I start this journey, and people come on the podcast with products that they use for themselves, herbs and things like that, and they would have, gone back now to try to help other females, you know, who in your position right now. So, and also you mentioned about being sensitive. We as people could be very insensitive sometimes without knowing what we insensitive about. So, for instance, as you're talking about, you might see a friend, and you might, as you rightly said, girl, you put on weight, girl. Oh gosh, what's going on with you? But not knowing, why it might just be a little comment, a walking comment, but mentally it will affect you because you're battling a big mountain there, but them just throw a little pebble, but the ripple that word that statement may have on you could really, really affect you on your journey to deal with this already. So that's why it's important that, and I'm glad that your family and the people close to you understand and sensitive, so they can understand before they speak. Hey, I know what Christy going through. I know what it is about, and this is not. It has nothing to do with her. That's just the way she was born. As so much thousands of female out there. That's just how it is. And I'm glad you actually out here speaking on this, Chrissy, because most women I know don't really talk about personal things like this, and that's actually a problem in the society too, because you can help somebody, or somebody could give you help, because as I said earlier on, I know of two people came on this platform, the same conversation we had, and they would have managed to get pregnant based on steps, non-medical steps that they took. But when we keep things to ourselves, we are avoiding ourselves from getting help from people who've been down there before, and we avoiding ourselves by telling people what step to take. And if someone now will come to you and said, Chrissy girl, a female, they diagnosed me with this thing, this PCOS, and they will be down and out because use a warrior into that and still fighting, you know, mentally, yes, you will tell them exercise and change the diet. It's what you do because you make it a lifestyle. But I believe that could be a challenge for most people, as you know, changing their diet in Trinidad and Tobago. Our culture is tough,
Right.
right? It's tough, right? But that is a main. Would you say that's a main factor in fighting that battle? Is your diet and exercise?
Um, yeah, I would say that diet and exercise are two major aspects. of trying to manage PCOS. Watching what you eat, what you put into your body, as I said, and just having a good routine, which is hard to maintain. A lot of people, a lot of people and their lifestyles and all the stresses of life, it's really hard to maintain a good exercise routine. But it's also very important to at least try. So I know a lot of people say I will start on Monday, but just start when you think about it. So it doesn't have to be a Monday, it could be a Saturday, it could be a Friday. And try to give yourself at least 3 days a week in the gym. Two. If you could make two, don't give up. That's the bottom line. So even if this week you give one day, that's fine. Next week is a new week. Start off and you just start to exercise. And at the same time, if in terms of diet, you have a little cheat meal here and there. You decide
Correct.
you want to go and eat a little bit, and that doesn't mean you're going to have a cheat month or cheat year after.
Yeah,
Start from
yeah, yeah.
again, try and just put good things, healthy things into your body. I had a friend tell me one time, he said, uh, and I'm trying to remember, I don't want to misquote him. He said something along the lines of, um, make food your medicine, or else medicine will become your food.
Yes,
Like
that's so
something
correct.
along those lines. So that is something that I always remember, and I kind of live by it now. I try to put nutritious things into my body, um, and just to stay well, just to try to stay well, because we're dealing with so much.
Yeah, and before, yes, I heard that statement before. And what it is that eat your food as your medicine, as later on in life you'll have to eat your medicine as your food, right? And that is the statement, and that's so correct. And I found too, Chrissy, is that you mentioned that just now, that what we put in is what we get out, and that's so true. And we have vehicles, as always often use this statement. We all have vehicles, and what the manufacturer tell us to put in to get a good result, we just put in, right?
Right? Yeah.
Nobody put diesel in a gas engine,
That's
right?
not rough.
Yeah, yeah, kind of rough, right? So no, what basically what it is, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Nobody gonna put brakes fluid in your tank. Nobody
Right.
will put diesel in gas and gas in diesel engine, because we're listening to what the manufacturer said to get a better outcome.
Correct.
There's things that we know that is not supposed to be in our body or overdo, but yet we overdo it, and our body is more important than any vehicle they can make on this planet, right?
Correct.
And yet we don't listen to ourselves. We don't listen to Google. We don't listen to doctors. We don't listen to nutritionists. We don't listen to anybody. We only try to come on board when we go and we get a diagnostic with something. Hey, you better change your habits, or else is fatality or something drastic, as you rightly said. So back to what we were talking about, Chris. Do you think that for this amount of years that you're dealing with this PCOS, do you think that you find a way to strive in the sense of why is it dealing with it and trying to get in a position to get pregnant, but live a life, you enjoy your life as well. You're enjoying life, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're going out with friends, you're spending time with family and your significant other. Why is it deal with that? You're still striving. Would you say that?
Yeah, I am. I I am. I think I've reached a stage now in having the PCOS, and I think it's because I've had it for so long, and I've also been aware of it for so long that I just kind of live around it, with its challenges, with all the issues that come with it. I just try to live life
Mm.
around it, and I don't let it control me.
It's just so on hard days, right? On hard days that you're feeling it, right? What gets you through those kind of days mentally?
Um,
Or what keep you hopeful, right, on those days? Because I am pretty sure you will have days as a human, strong as you are. You have human is like the years going. I know women. I know this biological clock. I know that's the conversation I hear women talking about. And then you wanting to have a child, and on tough days, some days you're okay, I know, but the days that you're by yourself and the thing hits you, what really just give you that hope to keep fighting, to go on and believing that it's going to happen? What
um,
one thing?
I would say mostly my relationship with God. You see those down days, even
Hmm.
when I'm tired, because one of the symptoms as well is that you, even though I might have diet and exercise going on, I feel tired a lot of the time. So on those kind of tough days that I might even be emotionally drained,
Hmm.
I rely on God and I pray and I just ask God to take me through the day and just push. I would like to think that this is one of those things that has given me a greater will to fight for
Hmm.
myself. So I pray every day, just God, just take me through this day, take me through, help me to get through.
Hmm.
And that's how I get through it. Tomorrow is another day.
Hmm. Well, what I could say, I'm glad. I mean, that's the only person, in my humble view, I support you, could really make that happen or make the change. I mean, you continue to exercise, continue to, your nutrition and all the things that you're already doing. But with faith and belief and prayers, God is the person that can make it happen. And I believe in that faith that you say that you have, and you find strength in knowing and believing that your prayers will be answered. We only lose when we decide to give up in life. That's what I believe. And I'm saying this here, and I mean, and I will say it to you, and I do say it to you outside of this platform, you know, quitter. There's an old saying that a winner never quit and a quitter never win, right? And no matter what, anything is possible. And the mere fact that two people came on this platform talking the same conversation and got pregnant, right? I wouldn't call it him here, but you and I will talk about that after, right? It shows that it's possible and it's more than one or two people, right? And I even have a cousin of mine who in States who got through to make a baby the same way. And she had it for years. In the first marriage, she didn't have any. So they're always hopeful but believe in God and God only, in spite of doing what it's supposed to do. And I think that, and you have everything. You have the family support, the friend support, and I think that is the best support you have together with the icing and the cake, which is God. And I think I will see you soon with a little pumpkin in front there, and it's like, oh, hey, that child will be the spoiled rat of that family based on what I know, right? So you just keep fighting the fight. But what I want to ask too, Chrissy, is that in apart from the condition recently there or the last year or 2 days, have you seen any small win, not just getting pregnant, but any small win that could say, you know what, I'm either feeling but myself, not just mentally and emotionally, like physically, I'm feeling like, you know, good, like, possibility, the bar rise a little bit. You, they ever had something like that?
I would say that since I came off birth control for me, um, I've been feeling a lot better. As I said, I haven't been having my headaches like I would have consistently had in the past. So that's a big win for me, not having to deal with those headaches again.
Hmm.
I also have been doing some work on the weight loss because, as I said, when I came off the pill, I had like rapid weight gain. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been able to kind of do the diet and exercise dance in trying to lose some of the weight, and I have lost some. So that has been working out for me as well. I appreciate that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the two major things that I've been. Because when I came off the pill, I even in terms of my moods, I want to say that my moods are even better. I feel more like myself now. It's
Mm-hmm.
like
That's
I've heard
uh,
women in the past talk about how the pill makes them feel on an emotional level. I
mm-hmm.
experienced that in that since I came off, I can see the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, my body, that's how I reacted. So, I mean, the pill might be an option for a lot of other people. I don't knock it. It made sense for me at a point in my life. And now I just decided, okay, enough is enough. I am going to try something different.
Okay, okay. Well, because I think, do you think that when you're younger, like as you started younger, taking the pill. I mean, you're young, you're like man, you party, you really study about family at that point in time, so it's really not a big thing. But when you hit in your 30s going up, when you realize, all right, it's time to, that's when it hits you as like, hey. So that's something you probably could tell younger generation or a younger person who diagnosed with that and they feel well, well, I'm young still, you know, but what would you tell someone like that who say, well, I'm young, so I can just take the pill and I will be all right maybe down the road? What do you tell that person?
Listen, if they want to take it at that point in time, I don't see a
Mm-hmm.
problem with it. I am
Mm-hmm.
personally not. I am not against the pill. The pill does what it's supposed to do. But it's just everybody's body is different, and it
Okay.
may have an effect, a different effect on different people in terms of just how the different pills and chemicals react with their personal system. So they have
Yeah.
to make a decision for themselves. So if they decide they want to be 20 something and enjoy themselves and want to just take the pill, that is fine. But I mean, it has to be your decision, and it has to be based on information that you have. So, as I said, do as much research as possible and make the best decision for you.
Okay. Okay. So the pill, based on what you're saying, is operate differently on different individual, which makes sense, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I hear you because it's really a hormone. It balances your hormones. That's basically what the pill do when you have the condition. But is there any misconception or myth that people who you know talking about that or who don't know they have that PCOS in the sense of you know where's PCOS? But they don't know. Do you think that is people don't know the depths of that and how it affect one body, or is it she has PCOS? Well, just can't get pregnant. It's more than that, right?
Yeah, I don't think people talk about it like that, which is interesting. It's not something like it comes up in conversation, oh, she have PCOS.
Mm.
People see the effects of PCOS only because
Mm.
they will just notice this person is unable to have a child. This person might have a beard, as you say, or they might have a mustache, a visible mustache, and they may comment on the effects, but there isn't really a conversation about PCOS like there might be a conversation about depression, like there might be a conversation about anxiety.
Yeah, yeah.
Not necessarily a conversation. And I know I've spoken to you in the past about it. I feel like there needs to be that conversation because I think they say 1 in 10 women have PCOS, right? I want to believe that's the number.
That's still a high rate, though.
And when you think about it, like when you think about it, there's a lot of women
Yeah,
having
there's a lot.
PCOS out here, but
Yeah.
there isn't a lot of education, or at least education without you having to go seek it out. It's not something that's on the forefront from you to just pull out information. Like they may have for HIV or those types of things, those topics that people are burning topics. They don't look at PCOS like that.
You're correct because I've been to a lot of seminars and symposium throughout Trinidad, some hosted by Ministry of Health and all of those organizations, and it's always on diabetes. Not saying diabetes don't is a big thing; it is a big thing. I hear about some hypertension, little cancer workshop from time to time, right? They will have the men, different cancers for women and men. But I've never been to a symposium or any kind of fitness seminars or anything, and the topic is PCOS. I've never actually. I don't say I don't have, but I have never been to. I've never seen a program on social media locally, right, based on that. So I don't know why. It's very amazing though. It's
Yeah.
why it is 1 in every 10 women diagnosed with that, but yet we push this woman rights thing all over the world and even Trinidad, and that is something that affecting families, 1 in every 10 family, right? And I think that is a topic should be really be in the forefront. And as I told you before, Chrissy, in my next magazine coming out, that will be have a page and a paragraph about that, in my magazine because and it will be a physical magazine because I recognize that I whatever I can do in my capacity as a wellness professional, in the sense of making people aware of lifestyle change and fitness and all of that, I will do it. I may be a man, but I understand what effect it have on women, and it's need to be out there in the front, as you rightfully said. And what I want to ask you is that if PCOS, based on you've been battling, and you're going to win that battle soon, I'm saying that, right? For so long, if PCOS was a person you could see them, let us say that PCOS find it look like Vic now. Let's say PCOS is Vic, a person, and you could see that person and touch that person. What would you? Well, you gotta keep it clean on the platform, right? But what would what would you tell in clean words? What would you tell that person who's PCOS? And this is just a fun. This is a fun. This is a fun question.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is leave us alone. But um, but even
Why?
as that, leave us alone. But
Yeah.
I would say also, um, you are not the boss of me. You do not define me. Um, I will use you to help others, and you will become one of my strengths as
Hey,
opposed to me viewing you as a weakness.
well
It's
said.
it's yeah. I feel like we need to overcome it. So
Hmm.
yeah.
You deal. I think you might give my color up to him. Might, hey, jack him up on the wall and say, partner. You might say, partner, hey, see this thing? I in
It's a
control
keep
here.
it clean. So
No, well, yeah, we can use jack him up, but
yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's a clean version. But I understand. But I like what you said to Chrissy, is that you show strength in just that statement. Why is
Yeah.
this a fun statement, but it have some seriousness, and it have truth in it, because it's how you feel.
Mhm.
And you're saying, actually, hey, you're not going to win this battle, and instead of me saying, you know what, give it up and say, all right, take win, I will use this challenge that I'm going through, this battle that they put me through, to be my strength, to not just to win it for me, but help empower other women who going through that throughout Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension the world, because it's a battle that, if you give up mentally, I think is over. You understand? I think it's over, because the people who would have not given up, talking to them now, they would have been glad that they didn't, because when they look at the beautiful baby boy, baby girl, they would have said it was good, that fight. And you are going to be singing that same song soon. I am saying it out there in the universe, because I also believe that through God, all things are possible. And with the support system that you have, with a praying mother that you have, with a strong praying mother, I don't say strong praying mother, a strong praying sister and family, brother away. I know the family, and I know everybody have you in their prayers, and championing you in this fight, right? Where two or three are gathered, as you know what has happened, right? So it's not just you fighting that battle, is the family fighting that battle with you, and God is the ultimate rewarder of prayers. And I know definitely that you're going to get through. And I know I be seeing the gym pushing hard, so I know that discipline with the gym and eating a certain way. I know you have that luck, because it's years you're doing that, and you see the results. So I know it's up and down, because you have to deal with gain, lose, but you're gaining not because of lack of discipline of going to the gym, or lack of discipline of eating the wrong thing. You're eating the right thing. I need to ask that though. You eat the right thing, which I know. You gym very often, which I know. And when the hormone is acting up, and you put on a weight this week, you put on some weight this week, and it's not because of you slacking in either nutrition or exercise, that must affect you mentally.
Yeah, it does. And I was gonna say that before that. Oh, it's you have to do a lot of introspection and a lot of self-talk to keep you going when those things happen. Remind yourself that you're beautiful, that you are trying, and the mere fact that you are trying is excellent.
Hmm.
So, I mean, keep pushing. So, and that's what I do with myself constantly. I had to make peace with a lot of things. Um, make peace with the constant up and down with my weight. Make peace with the fact that sometimes you don't feel so good on an emotional level with the PCOS, and kind of just become very self-aware that that may be what affecting my mood today. Be conscious of it and say, okay,
Yeah.
it's probably my mood, my hormones, just and keep it moving and understand your body and understand yourself. It's one of the things that I actually wanted to say to you is that aside from the baby thing, I know your self-esteem comes up a lot with PCOS because of all the other things that goes on with it. How body image and just the way that you look in general, and it's something that we have to keep working on and reminding ourselves that you're beautiful inside out, no matter what. You didn't ask for PCOS. You
Correct.
all
Correct.
you have to deal with
Yes.
it for your reproductive years, and you have to make the best of it. You know.
Yes. Yes. And Chrissy, it's so good to hear you speak like that. I mean, I know you a while, and and I think a lot of people, suffers with, saying to themselves and believing to themselves that beauty starts on the inside, right? And so what you said there, I know is helpful to someone because there's people that, and I know one or two people who find it hard, their self-esteem low based on, you know, internally, not externally, because they are beautiful on the outside, but they don't feel beautiful. And so wellness to me, all right, that's why my platform is a holistic approach to wellness is mind, body, and soul. To be all around, you have to be beautiful to yourself first, believe it, and not waiting for anybody any outside or any external factor to tell you you are beautiful. So even though you battle with that, right, and somebody might see you put on a 5 pound or 2 pound this week based on your hormones acting up, and I say, oh look, Chrissy, no, Chrissy, and I'm sure you will get this, Chrissy. If they're not telling you in your face, they might think it, because Trini, they like Kankalan, right? She's human every day, I know she put on 5 pound, right? So
Yes,
I know that is Trini, right?
that is true.
And nobody will take the time to say Chrissy, right? Because the bacchanalians don't really talk that kind of talk. They will talk it, but they will come and say, Chrissy, yo, I see, in a Louis gym, is everything okay? The bacchanalians don't talk that talk. The bacchanalians goes like, they go just come up with their own thought and they go just run with it, right? And just waste down gym people, oh, she in the gym long time, da, 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 da.
Right.
So that's why I'm really applaud when you said, you're beautiful. You know, body that when they put on 5 pound, 2 pound, 1 pound, you're beautiful, and that is the main thing to believe, right? And it might sound simple and easy for you, Chrissy, but it's not easy for most people to believe they are beautiful, right? Because most people look for outside gratification and praise from
Yeah.
strangers in some cases for them to feel good about themselves. And if you depend on that, then your emotions could be up and down. You like yourself today, don't like yourself tomorrow based on who tell you you're beautiful today and who tell you you're not beautiful tomorrow. So that's a sad thing. So it's
That's
good that you reach a stage where you could say to yourself that, you know what, in spite of I love myself, in spite of I'm beautiful, in spite of I have a family who support me and love me, in spite of I have a God that I know love me, all right, and I'm enough for me,
yeah,
so I'm enough for everybody else that is in my life.
yeah. And just to piggyback off of what you're saying, a major thing in society is kindness and consideration for others. Listen,
Mhm.
just be kind. If it can't be anything else, be kind. Be kind to person. Sometimes just as I said, I have been blessed with friends and family that if they've been kind to me, even in the moments when I might gain, lose weight, you know, they've always been consistent. And I'm saying that to say sometimes your kind word might help someone. Sometimes that consideration to think, okay, somebody gain weight, hold back the comment. You don't have to say that they gain weight. I'm pretty sure they are aware that they have gained weight. You don't even
Correct,
tell
correct,
them anything. You
correct,
don't know
correct.
what they're going through, and that's a general thing. Outside of PCOS, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know their struggles. So just be kind when you can, right?
And
But when you
yeah.
have opportunity to be kind.
And that's excellent, Chrissy, because for some reason in this world today, being kind seems to be like a task, which we all which is cost nothing, right? It costs nothing just to be kind, right? Because everybody, I think, want someone to be kind to them, even the people who are not being kind to others. So I just find it strange.
Yeah.
So instead of say something, a word to hurt somebody will make them feel horrible. Just say something good. Uplift somebody instead of trying to bring them down. And as rightly as you said, Christy, you just know what that person is going through. And a kind word might just make the difference between they stepping off a ledge, right? Or walking backward. You understand? So it's better to, as I always say to people on my journey in my life, I'm in the business of building bridges, not burning bridges. I am in the business of, you know, you know, collecting, making friends, genuine friends. I'm in the business of not just spreading wellness and information about fitness and wellness and lifestyle, but I'm also sharing love. I'm letting people know, hey, you know, instead of being mean, as you rightfully said, hey, tell somebody, encourage somebody. Because what I do into is encouraging people. There's a lot of people, as you know, Chrissy, because you're in fitness long, it's not easy to change your life and come into fitness. It's not easy to get up in the morning. When you live in 20, 30 years just living careless, to get up in the morning to say, you know what, I'm going to change my lifestyle into a healthier lifestyle, it don't work so easy. You have to start bit by bit because it's reprogramming your habits, it's reprogramming your mind, it's changing a whole repetition of bad habits and putting in a sprinkle of good ones before the good one could overpower the bad ones. You understand?
Yep.
So it's not easy. So it's the same thing as saying good and kind words to people. For people who custom saying mean things, just try today. Say, you know what? I'm going to say one kind thing to somebody today. Like for the people who they say not kind things to people on the job or who they meet on the street, I'm saying this today, and I'm saying after Christian. She's correct. For those people, those mean people, those people always hating somebody, when they go to work Monday, say to yourself, I'm going to say one kind thing, one nice word to somebody I normally they say something bad about. Start the journey one step at a time, one day at a time, one person at a time. That's what I would say.
Yeah. And just to add, I know you said you don't see stuff on social media platforms. I will say that there are a couple pages, but the thing is, you have to be looking for those things, right? But there are a couple pages that are out there that deal with PCOS, as well as a few doctors that try to do little segments on them. They will have like little series on not
Mhm.
only PCOS, but they will talk about other topics like endometriosis and things like that, just to build awareness. But it's one-off things that. So as I said, we don't really have a overall platform that deals with PCOS, and it's not at the fore. But there are a few doctors that are out there. There are a few pages that are out there, but you really have to be searching for it.
Mm. So for those people who have that, what we saying here now, what Chrissy is saying is that you have to go on social media, go on Google, and actually look for it. Yes.
Do your research. I keep saying that. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
stress enough. Do your research.
Because what might work for you might not work for someone else,
Correct.
right? Because everybody hormones may act different. Yes, the hormone imbalance, but may act different. Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
right. So, Chrissy, I know this was excellent, right? You was amazing as expected, and I really appreciate that I know you dive deep into your personal life, and you would have, it's something that you're going through for a long time and dealing with, and you're going to win. But I am just, I'm very appreciative of you coming and saying yes to come on the platform and really feel comfortable enough to share your story to the world actually based on what you have been dealing with for so long and how it is now and what you're praying for, not hoping for, we don't hope, what we are praying for and believing for as you go on, continue this journey. So I want to say thanks for coming. And before we go, I just want to give you the opportunity to, if there's anybody you want to thank or say thank to for support or anything like that, feel free before we close off.
Like, my family and my friends, um, everybody everybody I have in my life, who's always been there to keep me balanced. I appreciate them. I know some of them might be watching on right now. I appreciate everyone. And God, most of all, God.
And I think you gotta appreciate your mommy too on this platform, because you know if you call her mommy here, I go get some backlash to her.
Mommy is my strength and
Yes,
my
yes,
everything. She and daddy. My
yes,
parents are my
yes,
best friends. A lot of people know that. I love them dearly.
yes.
They are very enmeshed in my life. So yes, of course I would thank them. You know?
Yes, yes. All right. But thank you, Chrissy. This was amazing. And again, we will do our thing for my upcoming magazine on a topic on this. You will have a segment, right, to put out there for
Okay.
people. And the magazine will be throughout, not just Trinidad, it'll be certain parts of the Caribbean as well. So you'll be reaching, your voice will be reaching over the seas.
All
Yes?
right. And thanks so
So,
much for
so thanks,
having me.
thanks
Thank
again. And may God bless you. And we will chat again. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Good night.